seeing in the market today in terms of, digital transformations?
Yeah.
This big buzzword that can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. What are your clients, like if you had a client come in and said, I've heard a lot of stuff about this digital transformation. We need to do more of that. But they don't really know what they want.
Yeah. If they're not of a mentality, I'll speak of digital transformation. I think of it as like a digital wake-up call to any business that, hey, there's probably some digital complement to my business that I should be investing in or considering. And so what you're seeing is with digital transformation is more than likely most companies are starting to look at what is the digital play that maybe transforms, complements, or differentiates my business. And I would say certainly 2020 was a digital wake-up call. I mean, I don't know anyone that would start a restaurant these days that didn't have online ordering and integration to DoorDash and some menu online, just to be very honest. Even though no one's going to choose that restaurant based on that. They're going to choose it based on the service and the quality of food and things like that. I don't want a restaurant to ever say it's a tech company either.
Yeah.
But what you're seeing is every business has some digital complement to it.
Yeah. I think a big aspect, you could almost use these words interchangeably. Digital transformation is all about the customer experience.
Yeah.
And so I remember when we both worked at a Primo, I had never heard of the term UI UX before.
Yeah.
Like we really didn't have a UI UX. And that became, the software was meant to run calculations, store data, things like that. I think that trend has been accelerating towards, like you said, the restaurants. There's almost an expectation with applications now that they have to look and feel and work to my standard.
Correct. I would say, so the rise of everybody almost like check the box of I'm online. I got a website, I got an app. And then that's not enough anymore. I think you and I personally, and I think everybody is so familiar with using tech right now that the bar is high, the expectation is high on how that tech would work. There is no app on my phone that I ever attended training for or clicked on help.
Yeah.
Right? And so what you're starting to see is that's the expectation being placed on digital products, where it's not enough to just have it. It has to meet the user's expectation.
Yeah. And again, in my industry, the low-code industry, it used to be a tool strictly for developers, right?
Yeah.
And then the UI would kind of be an afterthought or come after that. Yep.
And so very rarely, and to your point, I love the way you said it, is back in the day, 10 years ago, or to a non-savvy tech company, they coded everything and then they put the interface up as an afterthought. Yep. That is not the way. Like for every client that we're working with, we're designing screens a week or two before they're intended to be coded.
Yeah, and I think that's really kind of the untapped potential of low code, is the ability for users, like you said, that they're like, I'm not a developer. Don't confuse me with one, to actually be able to build a working prototype. And not only build a prototype and hand it to the developer and say, I'm looking for something kind of like this, but actually run working software and work out the bugs, kind of like an interactive wireframe.
Yeah, I would say low code, two areas where I've seen just be outstanding. The first one would be an early stage of a new innovation, where it's like custom code is very expensive. And it's very expensive, not just in cost, but in expertise of what you have to even set up, and just in the foundation of it, security and layers and stuff like that. That a lot of early ideas make sense to have that idea almost like tested, previewed, or validated in a much more lightweight area. And I find low code is a great way for them to do that, either with themselves or with a firm like ours, that we're implementing that in something where we're not really, that's just a way it gets you from point A to point D faster. Yeah. If you will. And another one would be I would say a lot of these not traditionally non-tech industries where it's maybe their first foray into digital, and they just don't have the means or network to hire the most elite engineering talent, and maybe they don't need it, because it's a complementary digital product to their company. Low code is a really good option to those, where it's, hey, it's my first foray into digital product. I don't need, this isn't a custom home. This is that I don't need all new, all custom. it isn't my core business. It's a complement to my business. And so I have to kind of right size what that looks like investment wise. And that's where low code shines from my perspective as well.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I'm sure you're familiar with the term citizen developer.
I heard that, yes.
Which was promised as, you know, you'll never need to hire these expensive resources again that do custom dev. That's not true.
Correct. Far from it.
So there's always going to be a place for development. What I think low code can do is actually free those expensive resources up to focus on, like you said, building the custom home.
Yeah.
You know, not having the elite of the elite work on stuff that, you know, could be done at a lower tier.
Yeah, totally.